have him on an official basis, and who has been with us for many years now, and boy, we've never asked him to do anything that he hasn't done willingly, and he is the biggest supporter of the guys in the sideline. He's the back slapper, and he knows who's hurt and takes good care of him. He's got a great big heart, and he really adds a lot to our staff, especially in the game when I'm so mean and concentrating on play call and stuff. He really builds kids up. Mr. Jerome DeBelts. I guess looking around, most of you had Coach Brown for a teacher or a coach. And so I don't think I need to say much to you folks about what kind of a man he is and what he means to our program. He keeps us, Tom and I, on our toes all the time. He's awful hard on us, and he really is mean to us a lot of the time. That's the truth. We get out of that locker room before the ball game. If we have any talent that's knowing when to get out of the way and letting the master take over. If you see us and you walk by just before the game, you'll see Wetzel and I standing outside and hands folded and staring out into space. And in the locker room, Mr. Brown is doing the pre-game talk. I don't know what he says there because he never lets me listen, you know. Even the tape recording. One of the major conflicts that you're going to have in your life, your daughter's here and your team's playing for the Metrodome, and he handled it off well, I thought. But even then, when he tape recorded it, he wouldn't let us in the bus. We had to make an agreement that we would not be in the bus. We couldn't listen to that tape. I haven't heard it yet, and I don't think I ever will. I don't know. So I don't know what he says in there, whether it's magic or voodoo, but I do know that it works. And I do know Wes and I stand outside and watch a bunch of kids come out with real big eyes and a lot of enthusiasm and fire. So we don't have to worry about it. Most of the fundamentals that these kids have, we start them out as freshmen. Most people start them younger. We feel freshmen's right for football. And the freshman year kind of teach them where the guard line's up. And the sophomore year, they learn a lot of fundamentals. And that's what Bill teaches them. And there's an awful lot of fire in that heart of Bill's, and he's just a wonderful assistant coach, the best in the state as far as I'm concerned. Our B squad coach, Mr. Bill Brown. Geography student, so I okay, the defensive coordinator this year. He became the defensive coordinator after we gave up 62 points to Esco last year. Our defensive coordinator, our assistant coach, co-head coach, my friend and advisor, the guy who takes care of me, runs this team probably more than most people realize. Tries to keep my hat on and control my temper and all the things that he has to do besides coaching. As fine an associate as I'd ever want to be with, my friend, Tom Wetzel. And at this time, I'd like to have Tom come and help me with this. As we introduce the crew here, Tom is going to give them each their state runner-up medals. So if you guys come up one at a time here, and I'll just go right down the line. And it's a special crew, not because they have any wonderful athletic talent particularly, but because they use whatever they do have together as a team like you wouldn't believe. The pride I feel in the way these guys handle themselves, going down to the big city, going out on the artificial turf for the first time, practicing, working like crazy, going to the hotel, going to the banquet that night, man, you should have heard the speech Chief gave there. It was short, I guess is the right word. Their conduct in the hotel at the banquet, their concentration, the way they handle themselves, themselves before, during, and after the game. It's not easy to run out there in that turf and that place that you've watched on television in front of that crowd and put that all aside and concentrate on what you're doing. And I guess I feel the word is poise, I think, that they showed down there and throughout the season. I think they've been a poised group of kids. And I know where that poise comes from. It's not any superhuman strength that any of us have. The poise comes from looking around the locker room before the game when we're all scared half to death, despite what the signs say. There's a little bit of fear that's involved there. And can't be scared, I think, comes from looking around at who you're playing with. And as we look around at each other, the coaching staff and the kids in the locker room, we've said it many times, that's the crew that if we want to be in trouble, that's the crew we want to be in trouble with. And I guess we were in trouble down there in the second half, but that's who we want to be in trouble with. And that's the way the kids look at each other. Each one supports the other one. And, you know, I think it's a good lesson for life in this world of ours and in a community like ours. We need to support each other all the time. It's easy to pick and criticize. It's a lot harder maybe to just buckle down and work together when things get tough. But I believe these boys have learned something about that. And if they have, by then the money that what school pays for the program has been well spent. And your support has been well deserved. They've learned those lessons. First of all, managers, Matt Minsky, Michael Drill, see your kids if you make them a manager, you know it. Joel Spade. Having my own son manage, I know how much time we spend now. You don't realize when it's one of your kids that's doing it, but I know how much time Matt spends in managing, and I know that the three of them have really served us well this year. We appreciate it. Then we got Dad Damnick over there, our defensive end. Robbie Bartolo. Linebacker, ATT lineman. Bob Latterell. Some of you may have seen at the Metrodome on the scoreboard that Bob is one of the 13 people chosen as academic all-state in Minnesota, a combination of football and grades. And we're awfully proud of that. Quarterback, defensive back, and one of our team leaders, our co-captain John Costello. Are the burn marks on your fingers healing? They'll heal after a while. One of our top ball players, one who does everything for us. This guy is so dedicated to the team, he volunteered to make the long snap. And if you know anything about football, that's the dirtiest job in the world, making that long snap. You get killed every time, and the only time anybody ever notices when it goes flying over the punter's head. He also kicks off, plays both offense and defense, blocks like crazy, catches the ball. Really fine football player, and one that we're really proud of. He's really learned some self-control and some good lessons. We love him dearly. Bill will be cool. A junior guard who has a chance to be a Super Bowl player, I think, next year. Was a very good one this year, Jason Akerson. Junior tackle, always called cool and collected, Danny Schobert. I don't know what to say about Michael. Our punter and defensive end and the guy who drives me nuts in the locker room before every ball game is Mike Arzak. Big part part of the muscle that's made our defense work this year. What a really fine football player. Made some great plays for us. Stevie Milo. Our senior center has been a real rock for us, who has had a real tough assignment, handled some awful big kids this year. Not tremendous in size, but an awful big heart on this guy. And he goes 100% all the time. We've really been proud of the job he's done. Goes himself, Mike Cooley. Big number 88, who's been taking about half the line of scrimmage up, sorts out blockers and talks him aside, picks out the ball carrier, drags him down, or gets dragged down by him, as the case was with Rick Meyer on Saturday. The big tuna, Dan Tunor. Football team, the guy who we literally have to chain up on the sideline. Great hitter, put on some of the best hits that you'll ever see. Probably set some kind of a record for knocking people down for an offensive blocker. Just a very, very, very fine football player, senior John Friat. Tuesday, Kentucky Fried Chicken on Wednesday. Real great team member who keeps us loose. Jason Gardner. On the field, the one who's done a great job for us all year long, really been solid. Excellent backup quarterback, flying defensive back, leads the team in interceptions, Brian Renner. I think probably the leader of our defense in terms of fire amongst guys. One tough little dude, Sergeant Slaughter. Fullback, defensive back, all around good guy, Kirk Marlowe. Sometimes you worry about kids getting swollen heads. In Moses' case, it's only partially true. It was just the nose that got swollen. This is slowed down much, though. He's really had a great season and really done a fine job for us, both blocking and catching in the defense. Bill Mobilia. Now, a man loved by television cameramen everywhere for his rugged good looks and eloquence. Just a touchdown himself, Lance Ross. set some kind of a record. Kenny's the only kid in Minnesota to have his appendix up and still playing 9 football games, I'm sure. We missed him when he was gone. We were happy to have him back. He's contributed a great deal to the team, Kenny Hickman. Cockiest guy in the team right here. We just can't hold this guy down. Just full of confidence, brimming, overflowing with confidence all the time. A really fine football player, one that is going to play a large role in our team next year, Bob Law. Track sprinter talked to me and said, could I come out to football, Mr. Mischke? I go, I suppose, if you insist, Keith. Keith came out this year. We had the agreement, Keith, nobody's going to be a ball player when you're a first-year player, but you come out this year and maybe have a chance to play this year. Well, if you watched him play the second half of the season, Keith didn't wait until next year. He really has developed into an excellent halfback. He's got great speed, and he's learned to carry that ball. If you teach him to block now, we're going to have something. Keith Hagan. I don't know if Mike Lynn from the Vikings is in the audience. Mike, I saw this guy make 5 field goals from 40 yards out on your Metrodome turf here in practice on Friday, and I know that your kicker missed from 40 yards out. One of the neat things that's happened to us this year is we've had the opportunity to meet 2 new kids and make them a part of the team. And, you know, many times we've had exchange students on the team, and it's sort of been like, well, it's a good way for them to get to know the kids, and it's nice for them, and it'll really be helpful. These 2 guys are different. They're part of our football team. They are no longer foreign to us. They have proven themselves over and over again. You can't believe how hard they've worked. They are honest-to-goodness, excellent athletes. And if the ball game had been on the line in the Metrodome, I would never hesitate to use either one of them. And that's a pretty big compliment, because we would put our team destiny in their hands, or I guess better, on their feet, if it came to that case. They really done a fine job for us this year. First of all, by way of Germany, Niels Hansen. And then the darling of the media, Tony Harris. Tony makes Crocodile Dundee look like he doesn't have any personality. Okay. One of the guys who wasn't sure he was going to play this year, and one of the things that really made us feel good, he told Coach Wetzel when we came back from Swanville Grey Eagle, he said, you know, if I decided not to play this year, he said, when my folks drove across this bridge here in Brainerd, across Mississippi, I'd have stopped and jumped off. Guy who really has contributed a lot, both as a middle linebacker and as a backup at tackle and center. A guy who was a real team player for us. We really have appreciated him a great deal. He knows more football than we do. He's a real fan of the game, student to the game, Jerome Nemlich. Our red-headed fullback, 2-year fine football player, Tommy Gordy. And finally, middle linebacker, offensive tackle, really solid, top-notch football player. Kind of kid that you need, put him in, depend on him. Had a great season, Travis Weber. Especially your patience this morning.
We're not going to let Mr. Mischke get away quite that easy. We now will have the presentation of trophies from the team to the school, accepted by Mr. Rose and Mr. Schiller. We have a little, Mr. Rose has trouble sometimes picking up down, markers and things like that, so we brought the park along with us.
Now that's the Tackney Conference trophy that we get for playing at schools around the area. And last couple of years we haven't won it, and we've been trying real hard. And so that's a big accomplishment for us. Here's a Reason trophy. I'd like to thank all the fans for their support through the year. And I'd like to thank our cheerleaders for helping and decorating the halls and stuff.
Maybe from the goal. We played our hearts up on there. Thanks, everybody. Mr. Schreier has a few words of thanks.
Well, on behalf of our faculty and all of the students here, all past students, and I guess when I think of it, all the future students that will come to this school, on behalf of the entire community, I would like to thank you, gentlemen, for providing the school with this additional hardware here, which we will very proudly display. And I know that as people come by, and as you people come back, these trophies will trigger a lot of very, very happy memories for you and for the rest of us. So thank you again. No, it isn't going to be that long. The last couple of weeks have been hectic, but it's fun hectic. Tickets, worrying about transportation, worrying about hotels, but this is what it's all about. This is a chance for any school or community to have their kids play in a major tournament such as we had this past week. I enjoyed every bit of it. The pressure's off. I'm enjoying it more now after the Asher Roads yesterday. There's one more thing I do want to mention to the people of the community. They are very skimpy with these trophies in allowing you to print names of people on there. And we want to put this in history as far as the school is concerned. So rather than try to put all the names of those who are on the team and the cheerleaders and coaches, we do have a fund to take care of special awards. And we will be getting a plaque, it goes about so big, with the picture of the team on it, their names, and the complete record of the season. We probably won't get that until January or February. It will be on display in the trophy case by the media center when we get it. And last but not least, I want to thank you people for a job well done. As I was sitting here listening and watching, and I heard those very fine comments about John Triado, I got thinking, wow, that's right. I heard some conversations about John earlier too. He was unstoppable. He goes charging through that line, and he stops punts and everything else. And I said, I kind of wondered about that, and someone was talking to me about that. And yeah, I agree.
got 4 big stop signs out here at the intersection. They don't stop, John. I talked to John. No, that doesn't make any difference. But I finally found out the secret. It isn't the big sign, and it isn't the talking to John. You have to use the right words when you talk to John. John, now stop. I will never tell the coach, or any of these coaches that up again, tell what those secret words are. But there are some secret words in that will stop John. Pretty hard. That's right, John. She talked about the talent on the team, and she said that that wasn't perhaps the college team that goes far this year, that was the playing together. And yes, I think that's important. Why will some teams play together and some not play together quite so well? I think you can look back and call that character. And where do these guys get character, and I don't mean character, they get it from one place, the same place they got their talent. They get it from their parents. Well, they rise, brave parents of the cheerleaders and the football team. For those of you that have to go to the bathroom, we are winding down here. I think, because the next on the agenda, we have 2 things left. Mr. Brown is going to put this whole experience into German perspective, which could be frightening. That will be followed by a sportsmanship song by the cheerleader and the band. Mr. Brown?
Merkel said that the older leader in the slide had to handle this job. And, you know, it's been 42 years that I've been associated with football. And I can't remember a greater experience than what you guys gave me this year. It took me along. Thank you. It's been said so many times, fans, you're a fantastic. You really were. From the parents, the cheerleaders, to the one posters, from Rogers to the banners, you made the little apple stand up and take notice. The following to the Dome, to Breck, to Graham, to Eagle. Is just great. And even though we were outnumbered, we were never out-scouted. We had a terrific spirit. Your parents already, someone grabbed my thunder when you stood up, the football team stood up and thank you, fans and parents. That's what I wanted to have them do. Beat to the punch. You know, each coach has a job to do. I'm the beat squad coach, and it's been a pleasure for 34 years to do that. And I grew when the juniors and seniors came along, and freshmen and sophomores. I did give Coach Mischke a little bad time about, hey, I have a reservation made already. I had the hopes. They were just, something else to coach. Yet, this year, you sophomores out there, it was a difficult year. But I enjoyed you guys as much as I have, the other 34 teams. Because as a team, you came along, you started showing some intensity, some desire. I had much fun coaching you guys as I did coaching these Hawkers, a couple years ago. I want you to know that. In addition to being the D-spot coach, I'm kind of a holler guy. And being a holler guy, you get a reputation of saying certain things in the locker room, like Mitch said. And we talk, about a lot of things. I can't tell you everything that we talk about. I want to keep my job for a couple of years. But really, we talk about spirit, talk about sportsmanship, talk about togetherness. I think as coaches, we teach these young men a lot about football, a lot about living. I don't get the doghouse from my boss, Mr. Michigan now, but we don't pass the ball from into the last 8 seconds to get a record for somebody. We substitute when we feel we have the game in hand to give our inexperienced players more time, and we're proud of what we've done in the game, really proud. But being a hard guy, I really miss being at the Swansville Eagle game. So yes, I did put a new tape together. And to kind of illustrate that there's other things we talk about, I'm going to give you a 15-second story of some of the things we talk about.
You kids realize what you have done for us coaches, the pride and the pleasure you've given us. You realize the pride and support you've generated in our community, the school, your parents. So no matter what happens, walk off, you deserve it. So I guess I don't know.
Sportsmanship songs of leaders and bands. And the elementary students could be excused first.
Tom Wetzel, Joe Braun, and Jerome DeBell. And here's the starting offensive unit for the defending champions of the Capital Conference, the Mount Vernon Buell Rangers. Starting at center, a 241-pound junior, number 79, Jason Gallerstadt. At guard, a 208-pound senior, number 68.